My name is Dominic Sarugo, and I would like to thank my family for supporting me through college. All of you have inspired me to improve and have also provided me with emotional support when I needed it the most. Thank you all for helping me achieve my dream of graduating from Purdue Northwest University.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Bianco. When I was 8 years old, I dressed up as a nurse for career day at school. I wanted to be a nurse just like my mom. Today, at 24 years old, I am graduating with my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. It's been a long journey, but now I'm standing in the light at the end of the tunnel. Mom, Dad, Michael, Nicole, and Nick, I'm so happy you guys are here. Thank you for your love and support. I would not be here without you.
I want to thank my husband, Josh, for helping me to earn my master's degree. Without your support and the support of the kids, I would never have been able to do this. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Craig Lott. I want to say thank you to Chelsea, Jasmine, and Smokey, and not least, but my wife, Tisha.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Kovacic, and I just want to say thank you to my mom, dad, sister, and my boyfriend, Zach, for helping me through all these years, making it through and supporting me and being there for me, guiding me. And I just want to say I love you all, and I'm finally done with my master's, and I couldn't be more excited.
Hello, my name is Simone Bryant, and I would like to thank my wonderful family and friends for their constant support and belief in me and my dreams. I want to thank everyone who made the last 3 years possible for an amazing journey.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Dussehra, and I just want to say thank you to my mom, my dad, and my siblings, and the rest of my family, because you guys were always there for me and supporting me through these past 5 years, and I finally did it.
Hello, my name is Florence Lynette Scanyers. I would like to first give honor and thanks to God. With man, it is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. I would like to thank my husband, Gerald, for his wonderful patience during this entire process, and all of my children that I have been blessed with, and of course my mom, my friends, and my family, and for all of the sacrifices that was made and all of the things I missed. It was all worth it, and I'd like to thank myself for working so hard. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Colleen Rem. I'm graduating from the College of Nursing. I would like to take the time to thank my dad, my aunts and uncles, especially Colleen, Gary, and Aunt Mort, all of my friends, my brothers, and my mother and father-in-law. I especially want to thank my husband, Jacob, who has been an inspiration each and every day. I couldn't have made it without all of you.
Hi, my name is Natalie Davis, and I'm graduating from the College of Nursing. I just wanted to take a moment to thank my mom, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, and the rest of my family and friends for their support. I wanted to especially thank my husband, Jordan, for all of his encouragement throughout the years. I couldn't have done it without you guys.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacinda Forrest, and I am graduating from the College of Technology with a bachelor's degree in construction management and engineering. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my family and friends who have supported me over the past 4 years in my pursuit of this degree. I definitely couldn't have made it without your help. I would like to also give a special thanks to my 3 friends that I've made here that are now my friends for life. Just want to say we ride together, we die together, bad girls for life.
Good afternoon. My name is Erin Soria. I would like to take this moment to thank my mom, dad, sister, and the rest of my family and friends for being so supportive through my college experience. I love you all, and I did it.
Hi, my name's Mary Wozniak. I just want to thank my family, friends, my boyfriend, and everybody else who's helped me on this journey of receiving my college degree. Thank you guys so much, and I love you all.
Hi, this is Jennifer Colson. I'm graduating with my bachelor's in nursing. I just wanted to thank my husband, Steve, and to tell my 2 kids, Michael and Jessica, I love them to the moon and back. Thank you for everything.
Thank you to my wonderful family and friends for their constant support and belief in me and my dreams. Thank you to everyone who made these past 4 years such an incredible journey.
Hi, my name is Patricia Phillips. I would like to thank my wonderful family and friends for their constant support and belief in me and my dreams. Thank you to everyone who has made this past 7 years such an incredible journey. I love you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Yurkovich, and I'm graduating from the Chess College with a degree in political science. I'd like to take this moment to thank everyone who has served as an inspiration for me to complete my degree, and that includes my parents, my sister, my brother, my grandparents, and lastly, my professors.
Hi, this is Alexis. I want to thank everyone who helped in pushing and supporting me through this long journey. Having my son the beginning of my senior year was hard, but made me more determined to graduate. It's been a long journey, but so well worth it, to show that no matter what life throws at you, you can always achieve.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Sabo. Thank you, Eric, for believing in me since day one and constantly supporting me each and every day. I love you so much.
Hi, my name is Victoria Von Uhl, and I'd like to thank my mother and my fiance Andrew, and this is what 4.5 years of stress looks like, finally paying off. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon. My name is Kelly Mcnamee. I'm graduating from the College of Business with a bachelor's in fitness management. I would like to take a moment to thank my parents and everybody involved. I couldn't have done it without your guidance and support over the years. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Isela Montes. I just wanted to say thank you to my family and friends for helping me through my college years.
Hi, my name is Courtney. I want to thank my friends and my family, especially my mom and my dad, for the support and love they have given me these past 4 years. I would not be here today without them.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I'd like to thank my wonderful family and friends for their constant support and belief in me and my dreams. Thank you to everyone who made these past 4 years such an incredible journey.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Zervos. I would like to thank my family. Without all of your love and support, I would not be here today. I love you all so much.
Hi, my name is Megan Gleba. Today I'm graduating with a Bachelor's of Biology, and I wanted to say a huge thank you to my mom and dad. I wouldn't have been able to make it where I am today without both of you. I also want to say thank you to my fiance, Christopher Robin. I have been surrounded by nothing but love and support throughout my journey because of you three, and I cannot thank you enough. I love you so much.
Hi, my name is Monica Hardy, and I'm excited to be graduating with my Bachelor's in Nursing. I want to thank so much my husband for all his support, and my mom and dad as well for all their support. Thank you so much. I could not have done it without you.
My name is Ryan Dunsel, and I'm thankful for my wife who helped me through these last 4 years, and my parents who always told me that I could.
My name is Debra McCarthy. I'd like to thank my wonderful family and friends for their constant support and belief in me and my dreams. Thank you to everyone who made these past 4 years such an incredible journey.
Hello, I'm Michele Burton. I am graduating with my bachelor's in psychology, and I would like to take a moment to thank my mother and my PNW family, but most importantly, I'm doing this for more than just myself. Maya, Mommy loves you, and I am nothing without the love and support of everyone here today. Thank you, and I hope to make you all very proud.
My name is Melanie Rogers, and I just want to say thank you to my mom and my dad and my husband and my children for all of their love, support, and inspiration. I would not be here today without it. Thank you for helping me achieve my dream and graduating from Purdue.
Hello, my name is Erika Piggy, and I am graduating from the College of Humanities with a bachelor's in liberal studies. And I would like to thank my husband, Stefan, for all of his support, and also to my daughter, Aria, for being patient with me during this time. I could not have done this without you.
Hello everyone, my name is Milagro Miranda. I'm so excited to be graduating today. My major is communication with the focus on advertising, and I can't wait to see what the world holds for me. I would like to thank my mom and my dad, definitely for the financial support and of course the love they've always given me. And I would like to thank my boyfriend for sure for always helping me with my homework and getting me through this. It's gonna be an exciting day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all your love, support, and inspiration. I would not be here today without it. Thank you for helping me achieve my dream of graduating from Purdue University Northwest. I love you guys.
Thank you, Mom and Dad,
for all of your love, support, and inspiration. I would not be here today without it. Thank you for helping me achieve my dream of graduating from Purdue University. I love you guys.
These past 4 years have been such a roller coaster. However, I couldn't have done it without my parents. My parents paid for my college tuition, which I am so grateful for, and they always pushed me to do my best. That made me keep going and helped me achieve my goals. I wanted to make them so proud of me. I also couldn't have done it without my Nona and my Nono. They were always so happy that I was in college, and they showed how proud they were and are of me. They gave me so much energy to keep going and to finish strong. Lastly, my Zialina. I cannot stress enough how much she has helped me in these 4 years. We had long nights of studying for microbiology and virology. I wouldn't have made it without her being by my side. I am truly blessed and thankful for these people in my life. Now, with a bachelor's degree in biology, I, Antonietta Ruffalo, am one step closer to becoming a veterinarian. Thank you guys, and I love you all.
Hi, Mom, Dad, and Kyle. It's Kaylin. Thank you for all of your support, patience, and unconditional love over the last few years. Your encouragement has made a world of difference, and your belief in me has made me believe in myself.
Hi, Mom and Dad. It is Selena. Thank you for all your love, support, and inspiration. I would not be here today without it. Thank you for helping me achieve my dream of graduating from Purdue University Northwest.
Hey, Mom and Dad. It's Cora. I just want to say thank you for all your love and support. I love you to the moon and back. See you soon. Bye.
Hi, Mom and Eric. It's Nivea. I just want to say thank you for all your love and support that you both have given me through my journey through college. And we finally made it because this is for all of us. I love you guys.
Hi, Mom, Dad, family, and friends. It's Rebecca. I want to thank you all for your love and support during college. Your confidence in me has made me confident in myself. I'm now a college graduate, and I will continue to make you proud in the future.
I would like to thank my family for their emotional support and for encouraging me when I needed you the most. Thank you for being my stars. 143.
Good morning. My name is Mary Tim. Thank you, Sonny Hernandez, for helping me through my college years. I would also like to thank my family and friends who came here to celebrate my graduation with me.
Good morning. My name is Hola. I'm graduating from the College of Nursing. I would like to say thank you to TJ and my family for seeing me through college. Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Alvarez. I would just like to thank my parents, my mom, my dad, for their support and inspiration to have me keep going to finish my degree. They've been a huge help from the beginning, and I wouldn't be here without them.
I never anticipated getting the degree. Circumstances in life changed, and I'm grateful for the friends that encouraged me to go for it. My motivation was to have this experience in honor of my beloved son. I got so much more than I expected. A network of friendships, newfound purpose, and finding myself after feeling so lost. I couldn't have done it without my amazing circle of friends and my biggest cheerleader, Rachel. This one's for you, Moo.
Hello, my name's Jennifer Baker. I'm graduating with a degree in communications. Mainly, I just want to say thank you to a few people. First and foremost, my roommate Heather, because without her, none of this would have ever been possible, and I would have never been able to achieve this dream. So most importantly, I want to thank you, Heather. I also want to thank my amazing boyfriend for helping me get through this nightmare, and most importantly, my children for being the inspiration to achieve this dream of mine. So thank you to everybody.
Good afternoon. My name is Jillian Finley. I am graduating from the College of Nursing with my master's in Family Nurse Practitioner. I would like to take this moment to thank my parents, Laura and Fred, my fiance, Mike, and my kids, Brock and Lila. I couldn't have done it without your guidance and support over these years. Thank you, and I love you.
My name is Yvonne Lopez. I'm graduating from the College of Business with a Bachelor in Hospitality, Tourism, and Management. I would like to thank my family for all their support, my friends who became family, and my professors that became my mentors. Without you all, I wouldn't be here today. Lastly, I would like to thank my fiance, Sean, and my daughter, Mila. This is for us.
Good morning. My name is Brianne Sematech. I am graduating from the College of Business with a Bachelor in Hospitality and Tourism Management. I would like to take this moment to thank my parents, siblings, as well as friends. I couldn't have done it without your guidance and support over these years. Thank you so much, and I love you all.
I would like to thank my parents, Alan and Tracy Gertz, for being such a huge support for my experiences in college. You have been my inspiration each and every day. I couldn't have made it without you. Love you.
Hi, good morning. This is Samantha Robinson. I just want to say thank you, God, for being here. I want to say thank you to my Aunt Monica. Thank you to Miss Howard. Thank you to my sister Paris. And thank you to my daughter for you guys supporting me. You guys have been my biggest support since I started this program. And I just want to say the reason why I'm sitting here in this seat is because of all of you. Thank you, and I love you.
My name is Brandy Johnson, and I just wanted to thank my family and friends for their support and encouragement throughout the past 2 years so that I could obtain my master's degree in education. Thank you for getting me through many sleepless nights, nights of tears, nights of long papers, internships, a lot of blood, sweat, and togetherness it took to get me through. So thank you guys so much, my husband, my children, my mom, God. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Grace Montalvo, and I want to say thank you to my family for all of their understanding and patience and support as I took this journey into going back to school, and I'm really excited to say that I made it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Hibbler, and I am graduating from Purdue Northwest. Yay! I would like to take this moment to thank my wonderful family and friends for their constant support and belief in me and my dreams. Thank you to everyone who made these past 4 years such an incredible journey.
Hi, my name is Shelby Mitchell, and I just wanted to thank my friends and family for always supporting me.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Thomas, and I just want to thank my family and friends for supporting me on this long, amazing journey.
Hi, my name is Natalie Ellens. I want to give a shout out to all of my family members for helping me get through college.
Good morning. My name is April Bodnar. I'm graduating from the College of Business with an MBA. I would like to take this moment to thank my mentor, Judith Hack, who will be watching me from the stage, Professor Flannery, my mentor and my boss, the rest of the HTM staff and faculty, for all of your motivation, inspiration, and support through my 15-year journey, my grad family, Chris, Anna, and last, my husband, Jason, and my 3 heroes, Luca, Christopher, and Robert. Mommy loves you.
Good evening, my name is Chris Fugate. I am graduating from the College of Business with my Master's in Business Administration. I would like to take this moment to thank my mom and my brother and my dad above. It's been a long haul, and I want to thank you for being patient with me and my busy schedule. I couldn't have done it without you and your support. I love you all.
Hello, my name is Rogelio Escutia, and I am finally graduating from Purdue University. I used to come here when it was Calumet. It took me a long time to finish, but I'm here. Just want to thank my family, mom and dad, and my wife for supporting me through this long journey. Finally make it, and I am happy to thank everybody for assisting me on this journey.
Hello, my name is Bryan Hepped. I'm graduating from the College of Technology with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering technology. I would like to take this moment to thank my mom and dad for their emotional support and encouragement during the times that I needed it the most. I could not have done it without you. I love you.
Hi, my name is Ana Cristina Aldape Sanchez. I want to give a special thank you to my HTM professors that saw something in me to get me to where I am today, graduating with my MBA. A thank you to my mom and my dad for always being there and being my motivation. And to my husband for being my rock. Go Purdue.
Hi, my name is Haley Sandman, and I'm graduating from the College of Technology with a bachelor's in Construction Engineering Management Technology with a minor in Spanish. I would like to thank my mom and my family for their support, and my amazing study group of 3 wonderful ladies for all their help. And this one's for you, Dad. Love you all. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Nayan Guan. I'd like to thank my mom and dad for their unending support and love. I could not have done it without them. I love you and I miss you. 사랑해.
Hey, this is Lauren Griffith. Mom and Dad, I just want to say thank you so much. I could not have made it to where I am today without all your love, belief, and support. I love you both.
Hello, my name is Taylor. I would like to thank my family and friends for all their support, especially my father, Laszlo. I know his spirit will be with me as I walk across the stage tonight.
Hey guys, we did it. It's Logan. I just want to say thank you, Mom and Dad and boys, and it's been crazy so far, and it's crazy now, and it's almost over, and we've almost done it, and I just want to say thank you for carrying me through it and supporting me the entire way through, and I'm excited for what's to come. So thank you guys. I love you all, and we did it.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin Lee. I am graduating from the College of Nursing with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing degree. I would like to take this moment to thank my parents, Jeannie and Randy Lee, my sister Beverly, brother Patrick, and grandmother. I couldn't have done this without your guidance and support over these years. Thank you, and I love you guys so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Jasenia. I am graduating from the College of Nursing with a bachelor's degree. I would like to take a moment to thank my family and friends. I couldn't have done it without your guidance and support over the years. Thank you, and I love you.
Hi, my name is Renee Shear. I want to thank my husband Terry Shear and my family for their support, their patience, and nights of takeout dinners. I would like to recognize my daughters Brittany and Catherine for their help in correcting my papers, especially to Catherine. It must have been awkward having your mom in college at the same time on the same campus. Thanks, sweetheart. And a big shout out to my son Andrew, who's just been stationed at Kunsan, South Korea. I wish you all well. Hi, my name is Renee Shear. I want to thank my husband Terry Shear and my family for their support, patience, and nights of takeout dinners. I would like to recognize my daughters Brittany and Catherine for their help in correcting my papers, especially to my daughter Catherine. It must have been awkward having your mom in college at the same time on the same campus. Thanks, sweetheart. And a big thank you to my son Andrew, who's just been stationed at Kunsan, South Korea. I wish all of you well.
Good afternoon. My name is Bree Gibson. I am graduating from the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences with a Bachelor in Liberal Studies. I would like to take this moment to thank my parents, Norman and Karen Gibson, and my fiance, Stephen Keller. I couldn't have accomplished this without your guidance, love, and support over these years. You all have been my inspiration each and every day, and I couldn't have made it without you. I love you all.
What's up, y'all? It's Donovan. And as y'all know, I'm getting ready to graduate. I'm getting my BA in communication. Honestly, though, if it weren't for you guys, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. Firstly, I want to thank my mom for raising me all these 21 years and so on, putting herself through so many things to make sure that me and my brother had a better life. And I can't not talk about Mrs. Caney, Mrs. Holmquist, and most of all, Mrs. Crum, for seeing me through probably the worst times of my childhood and my adolescence, and being there for me when nobody else could. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has come out to support me throughout my life, all my friends, all my soul brothers and all that, for just believing in me and just being there when I needed you the most and giving me strength when I needed it. And now, it's paid off, and I couldn't be more happy than you guys. Stay clean. Peace out.
Good afternoon. My name is Wai Lau.
Good afternoon and welcome to Purdue University Northwest. Will those who are able please stand for the singing of our national anthem? Where's the flag?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Chancellor Keon, the convocation of Purdue University Northwest's 7th commencement is assembled. Please be seated.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this commencement exercise, the culmination of Purdue Northwest student success, and indeed one of the proudest days in the lives of the graduates and their families. For today's commencement, some of you have traveled across town, others from across the world, and many locations between. Today is a day of celebration and recognition, a day of applauding achievement, a day of proud reflection, and perhaps even shedding a tear of joy or two. And of course, this is the day you're receiving your cherished diploma. Candidates, I applaud you on your hard work, determination, and sacrifice. Parents, grandparents, other family members, and friends, I also applaud your hard work and determination and sacrifice. Graduation is not a celebration exclusive to those receiving their diplomas. Before we continue this celebration, I invite our graduation candidates to offer their heartfelt, thankful applause for the support they received from parents, family, friends, and others who in various ways made today possible. Northwest is honored to have some special guests here today to help celebrate our graduates. It's my pleasure to welcome the Purdue Northwest Legacy families. Each PNW Legacy family has a second, and in some cases, third-generation candidate participating in the ceremony today. These are your sons, daughters, siblings, and grandchildren. We are grateful to the tradition that you have continued today and share the pride in all of our graduates. Will the legacy families please stand and be recognized? You You may have noticed some of our graduates are wearing a gold stole with the emblem of one of the 5 branches of the armed forces, signifying that they are veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces. We would be honored if all servicemen and women present would stand so we can recognize you and express our gratitude. My lone instruction of the day is to ask that all in attendance be respectful as we read the names of each graduate, so that each of you will also be able to hear the name of your graduate. Several individuals whose leadership is vital to Purdue Northwest are seated on the platform. Inasmuch as they will not be introduced later, I want to take this opportunity to introduce them now. I will ask them to stand and remain standing, and I will invite you, after each has been recognized, to help share with the applause for these individuals. Chair of Faculty Senate and Grand Marshal, Dr. Anthony Elmendorf. Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, Mr. Stephen Turner. Interim Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, Professor Joy Colwell. Vice Chancellor for Institutional Advancement, Dr. Lisa Goodnight. Vice Chancellor for Information Services, Mr. Tim Winders. Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Mr. Rick Costello. Interim Department Chair of English and the presenter of the candidates, Dr. Paul Hecht. And our diploma marshals, Ms. Cheryl Arroyo and Jennifer Williams. Outstanding, dedicated faculty serve the students of Purdue University Northwest. Through teaching, research, engagement, our faculty enrich learning and further student success. For that, I invite the members of our hardworking faculty to stand and be recognized. It is my pleasure now to introduce Lee Morris. Lee is well-recognized as one of Northwest Indiana's leading community, business, and civic leaders. A longtime healthcare executive and former mayor of LaPorte, Lee is active in community and economic development regionally as well as statewide. Lee served in the Army, had a 10-year career in industry, and became a healthcare administrator, serving as president and CEO of LaPorte Hospital and related entities for more than 20 years. In 2004, he was elected mayor of the city of LaPorte. He's been appointed to several notable state roles, including Executive Director of the Indiana Toll Road, Chairman of the Board of the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority, Deputy Commissioner of Indiana Department of Transportation, and Senior Vice President of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation for Northwest Regional Development. Lee is a highly engaged Northwest Indiana community. He serves on the Board of Advisors here at Purdue University Northwest. and has served as chairman of the boards of both Lebesniak Center for the Arts and the LaPorte County Symphony Orchestra. He is sought after as an interim leader for area's not-for-profit organizations and has been an adjunct member of the graduate school at Valparaiso University since 2014. Lee earned his undergraduate degree in business administration from Ball State University and his master's degree in healthcare administration from the University of Minnesota. He and his wife, Marcia, a registered nurse and full-time community volunteer, live in LaPorte and are the proud parents of 2 and grandparents of 2. Would you please have Mr. Lee Morris join us?
Well, I'm absolutely delighted to have the opportunity to be here with you. And today I'm going to talk with you about Quest, Q-U-E-S-T. And that word, we don't hear very often anymore, but it really deals with what we might call a long, difficult journey toward a difficult-to-achieve goal. And I like to think of life as being a quest. So I'm going to be talking with you a little bit about life's quest. And the achievement that you're celebrating here today certainly is a major milestone in your life quest. I guess I thought I'd just take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in a little town called Hartford City, Indiana, and it was a little factory town. I went to business college, spent a little time in a business college, and then I went back home to work in the hardware store. And I guess I thought that was going to be my life's journey, was working in the hardware store in my little hometown. But you know, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I really want my life to be something more than this. I want my life to have some meaning, to make a positive difference. And that began my real quest, my life's journey. It's guided me to do and be more than I ever thought possible. I came to realize that most of the limitations that I experienced, I imposed on myself. And I had to figure out how to avoid that. My father died when I was 7 years old. My mother did a pretty doggone good job of taking care of my sister and me through the years, but I never really had a role model, never really had a mentor. My sister and I were the first to ever graduate from high school in our family. For generations, my ancestors were good, solid working people without any particular distinction or achievement. The small town where I grew up, as I said, was sort of a factory town, and so I thought working in that local hardware store was probably just going to be it. And thank heaven, I realized that there was something more, that I could do something more than just working in the hardware store, and it would be a lot more exciting and a lot more rewarding if I didn't give in to those self-imposed limitations. I doubt that many of you in the graduating classes have heard much about the 1965 musical Man of La Mancha, but it included some really important information about life's quest. The plot revolves around the adventures of a nobleman from La Mancha named Alonso Quijano. He decided to become a knight-errant and to revive chivalry and serve the nation under the name of Don Quixote de La Mancha. We live in a world today that really emphasizes realistic expectations and clear successes. Quixote had neither of those. But through failure after failure, he persisted in his vision and in his commitment. That was his quest to revive chivalry. He persisted because he knew who he was. Don Quixote taught us that life is to be challenged. Quixote doesn't accept current reality. He forces his creative imagery, his commitment, and his happiness on it. He creates a world of beauty and meaning. Now, 4 centuries after it was written, the Don Quixote quest still contains some important knowledge for modern leadership and for you and me. Many of those who study innovation propose that determined imagination and perseverance are at the core for creating new ideas. Innovation requires an openness to break from traditional knowledge and to persist, even in the face of failure. And that's a lesson that I had to learn, sometimes pretty painfully. I probably learned more, though, from my failures than I did from most of my successes. For example, when I completed military service, I had the idea that I would go off to law school, and that's what I did. And that trajectory ended with a serious thud. It was either the wrong time or the wrong thing for me. I'm not sure what it was, but that was a failure on my part. But you know what? That failure opened the door for me to have a career in healthcare that I think was 10 times more rewarding than a career in the law might have been. So out of that failure came what I consider to be a great opportunity and success. You know, Quixote instructs us to find beauty in our life every single day. Find beauty in our life every single day. His message is about an imagination that resists the limitations of current reality. It's a positive vision of happiness, and that rejects the vices of skepticism and distrust. A life of commitment does not depend on outcomes. Don Quixote shows us that life and leadership both require passion and discipline. And I'm passionate about a lot of things, not the least of which is the value of higher education. But I think I'm most passionate about the concept of theory X and theory Y. And that was a theory that Douglas McGregor, an MIT professor, created a number of years ago, but I think it's still as valid today as it was when he came out with it. He said that leaders who believe in theory X think that people are no darn good and they don't want to do the right thing unless they're forced to do it. Theory Y, on the other hand, supposes that people are basically very good and they want to perform well. All they need is encouragement and support. And boy, do I believe passionately in theory Y. And I do believe that's one of the reasons why I've achieved some level of success as a leader. And I hope all of you do, too. You know, if he were here today, Don Quixote, I think, would give you some advice that would go something like this. To dream your impossible dream. To fight your unbeatable foe. To bear with unbearable silence. And to run where the brave dare not go. To right the unrightable wrong. And to love pure and chaste from afar. To try when your arms are too weary. To reach your unreachable star. May this be your quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know, if you will only be true to that glorious quest, that your hearts will lie peaceful and calm when you're laid to your rest. And the world would be better for this. That one person, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with their last ounce of courage to reach their unreachable star. And I hope, that each of you will always dream what may seem to be an impossible dream, and that you will each reach for your unreachable star. May this be your quest, to reach your unreachable star. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. I have the fortune of spending some time and working with Lee. And so I can tell you that Lee has a never-ending quest because as I've worked with him and he's reached what others might think is a pinnacle, he moves it again further ahead for us. So thank you. For the introduction of academic degrees, I now invite Professor Libby Pelter, representing the Purdue Northwest faculty, to the podium.
So I'm humbled to be here today to represent the faculty in recognizing the remarkable achievement of our students. As faculty, we think our students are beyond the best, and we really want to acknowledge what you have achieved. The conferral of academic degrees is a critical responsibility, the accomplishment of which signifies that degree recipients have successfully completed a sufficiently rigorous and enlightening curriculum of courses that provides appropriate preparation to assume roles of contribution, responsibility, and leadership that advance our society. The faculty of Purdue University Northwest has evaluated the academic accomplishments of the candidates presented here today and concluded that pending the completion of any final outstanding requirements, each of these candidates meets the criteria for receiving a Purdue University degree. Based on that conclusion, the faculty recommends to the trustees of Purdue University that the appropriate degree be conferred. We have assembled here to celebrate that conferral. Thank you.
Dr. Rebecca Stankowski, Associate Vice Chancellor for Institutional Effectiveness and Interim Director of Graduate Studies, will present the candidates for the master's degree.
Will the candidates for the master's degree please stand? These students have successfully fulfilled the requirements for the master's degree. Each wears a hood, recognizing his or her academic discipline and symbolizing the completion of that advanced degree. With the approval of the faculty, they are now presented to receive their degrees.
For the conferral of the degrees, observing the respected custom of institution of higher learning and exercising the authority of the trustees of Purdue University, legally vested by the people of the state of Indiana, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I now confer upon you who have fulfilled the degree requirements the master's degree, with all rights, privileges, responsibilities appertaining thereto. I also solemnly place upon you those obligations which you must henceforth assume as holders of master's degrees. As evidence of your ability to fulfill the degree requirements and obligations of this degree, you will now receive your diplomas.
Will candidate Marshal Mr. Roy Hamilton please escort the candidates for graduate degrees forward to receive their diplomas? As the candidates make their way to the stage, please note they will be crossing in a random order. Vishal Bhatt. Abby Hartog. Aaron McNicholas.
Congratulations, master's degree graduates.
Dr. Niaz Latif, Interim Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, will now recognize distinguished undergraduate students.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my joy and privilege to provide special recognition to those individuals receiving baccalaureate degrees who have demonstrated outstanding scholastic achievement. The commencement booklet contains a statement on the basis upon which the status of distinction and highest distinction is determined. Candidates wearing black and gold cords symbolize this achievement. I invite the degree candidates who are graduating with highest distinction to please stand and remain standing. I also invite the degree candidates who are graduating with distinction to please stand and remain standing. On behalf of the Purdue trustees and the faculty of Purdue University Northwest, I congratulate you on your outstanding academic records. May you continue to be motivated by excellence and high standards in your quest to make positive contributions throughout your life. I invite the distinguished candidates to be seated. I now introduce Interim Dean of the Honors College, Dr. Michael Lynn, who will recognize candidates of the Honors College.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to recognize the candidates from the Honors College. I invite the Honors College candidates to please stand and remain standing. These students have fulfilled the graduation requirements of the Honors College, including completion of the academic curriculum and related coursework, substantive research in their areas of discipline, service engagement with the local community, and leadership experience across a range of diverse areas. These students have received and are wearing the Honors College medallions on gold and black ribbons. Please congratulate them. I invite the Honors College candidates to be seated.
At this time, I'm pleased to facilitate recognition of those individuals who have qualified to receive the Purdue University Northwest Chancellor's Medallion. The Chancellor's Medallion is presented to the graduating students who have achieved the highest grade point average within each of the academic colleges of Purdue University Northwest. We'd like to present each of those graduates to you at this time. I now invite Elizabeth Clements of the College of Humanities, Education and Social Sciences to please come to the stage. I also invite Elizabeth's family members to stand and share in this recognition. I invite the honoree and the guest to be seated. I now invite Rebecca Galloway of the College of Nursing to please come to the stage. I also invite Rebecca's family members to stand and share in this recognition. I invite the honoree and the guests to be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce Dean Lawrence Hamer to present the candidates for associate and baccalaureate degrees in the College of Business.
I am pleased and proud to present the candidates for associate and baccalaureate degrees in the College of Business. I invite the candidates to stand and remain standing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce Dean Chris Halford to present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Engineering and Sciences.
Provost Lateef, I am pleased and proud to present the outstanding candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Engineering and Sciences. I invite the Engineers and Sciences candidates to please rise and remain standing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce Dean Elaine Carey to present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences.
Provost Lateef, I am thrilled and proud to present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. I invite the candidates to stand, remain standing, and make some noise. It's your graduation day.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce Dean Lisa Hopp to present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Nursing.
Provost Lateef, I think I am the most proud and thrilled to present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees in the College of Nursing. I invite the candidates to stand up, be proud, and stay standing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce Interim Dean Muhammad Zahari to present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Technology.
Provost Lateef, I'm pleased and proud to present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees in the College of Technology. I invite the candidates, while making the loudest noise, to stand and remain standing.
Chancellor Keon, these students have successfully fulfilled the requirements for undergraduate curricula in their respective colleges. Having gained approval for graduation by each of the college faculties, I now present them to you to award their degrees.
Observing the respected customs of institution of higher learning and exercising the authority of the trustees of Purdue University, legally vested by the people of the state of Indiana and acting in behalf of the faculty of this institution, I now confer upon you who have fulfilled the requirements the appropriate associate and baccalaureate degrees with all rights, privileges, appertaining thereto. I also solemnly place upon you those obligations which you must henceforth assume as holders of this degree. As evidence of your ability to fulfill the requirements and obligations of the degree, you will now receive your diplomas. Will each college marshal now escort the associate and baccalaureate degree graduates forward to receive their diplomas. Graduates, please be seated until your row is called.
The graduates of the College of Business, escorted by Candidate Marshal Mr. Roy Hamilton. Delfino Jesus Torres Alvarez. Brandon McCarty. Ryan Gums. Trevor Medved. Madison Ritter. Gustavo Cisneros. Renee Shear. Austin Swistek. Aaron Fonseca. Connor Riley. Christopher Wick. Lori Pantel. Jacob McVeigh. Cassidy Rosenbaum. Kendra Morley Lozano. Hannah Monk. Taylor Rodriguez. Jennifer Kelly. Chelsea Stone. Austin Davis. Jacob Lefevre. Bradley Nygren. Casey Nader. Alexis Baker. Lauren Morey. Jennifer Tendick. Jason Rick. Wyatt Lau. Maverick Crowell. Jacob Sturgill. Jerry Smith. Sharon Durrett. Montana Hobby. Caitlin Sharp. Blake Rice. Pamela Patterson Uriga. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Business. The graduates of the College of Engineering and Sciences, escorted by Candidate Marshal Mr. J.C. White. Robin Tactiquin. Duana Hammonds. Dianira Molina. Taylor Kobitz. Conrad Pater. Evan Curl. Matthew Lambertino. Madison Clinton. Angelica Knopik. Antoinette Edwards. Sydney Snyder. Miriam Swoboda. Elijah Bailey. Justine Gatlin. Kara Best. Wade Craver. Michael A. Rodriguez. Colin Pasco. Connor Yoder. Ashley Bannock. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Engineering and Sciences. Graduates of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences, escorted by Candidate Marshal Mr. Maceo Rainey. Elizabeth Clements. Jacob Wesley. Emily Hunt. Lauren Griffith. Kelly Hanley. Charles Ascona. Morgan Dickman. Taylor Fabian. Michael Blozis. Benjamin Walter Keller. Donovan Barrier. Dominic Sarugo. Christina Tague. Samantha Behenna. Megan Wagner. Crystal Sandoval Ortiz. Samantha Martin. Nicole McEwen. Jacqueline Levitt. Brianna Gibson. Mia Stevens. Ashley Kidwell. Belinda Wren. Amber Dietz. Dominique Fuda. Haley Webb. Jamie Lynn Goodwin. Samantha Strauss. Katie Stayback. Damon DeWitt. Savannah Sonati. Kaylin Miller. Kelsey Dees. Alyssa Kenda. Haley Smith. Megan Dalrymple. Tiffany Thorderson. Ronnie Silvert. Julia Couch. Justin Ray Sardan. Abby Michaels. Daniel Regal. Christopher Wagner. Timothy O'Brien. Shakita Brown. Hans Puschel. Cheyenne Schroeder. Jamie Allison. Monique Bowers. Ferris Dakey. Celeste Villarreal. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. The graduates of the College of Nursing, escorted by candidate Marshal Ms. Amy Bishop. Rebecca Galloway. Kelly Cahillane. Allison Bishel. Heather Gangnagel. Matthew Variett. Brooke King. Jasenia Perez. Caitlin Bavar. Lauren Lauren Kane. Christina Boone. Caitlin Jean Lee. Elizabeth Bianco. Gabrielle Sexton. Vera Fleshman. Alexander Olson. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the College of Nursing. And the graduates of the College of Technology, escorted by Candidate Marshal Ms. Amy Bishop. Jordan Lowe. Javier Porraz. Bassam Ali Al-Jamdi. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates. One moment. The graduates of the College of Technology.
To signify completion of your degree requirements and the receipt of your diploma, I now invite all graduates to move the tassel on their mortarboards to the left side. Congratulations, you are now Purdue Northwest graduates! To officially welcome you to a Purdue Northwest alumni contingent comprising of thousands, I invite Ms. Ashley Geradomas, Executive Director of the Purdue Northwest Alumni Community, to the podium.
Congratulations to the newest Purdue University Northwest alumni. I am honored to be the first to welcome you into the P&W alumni community. As graduates, you join a community of over 61,000 strong, made up of CEOs and entrepreneurs, of lawyers and advocates, leading scholars and researchers, Emmy Award winners, mayors, state representatives, nurses, vice chancellors, and so much more. Each a story that has added to our rich history and paved the way for future Purdue Northwest students. It doesn't seem like very long ago that I was sitting where you are today. I'm a very proud 2008 Purdue Northwest graduate from the School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. I reflect fondly on my time as an undergrad. It wasn't always easy, but this is the place where I met some of my closest friends, made lifelong connections, and the place where I met my husband. When I entered the workforce, it became evident to me and my supervisors that the education I received at Purdue Northwest prepared me to succeed in my field of study and beyond. Outside of my own family, the biggest supporters I have had throughout my career have been my professors and other PNW community members. Before I returned to serve PNW, it was deeply important to me to stay connected. These people continued to be my mentors and advocates, creating new connections for me. Purdue Northwest is more than books, bricks, and mortar. Its real value is in its community of people. So my advice for you is to stay connected. Shoot a quick email to your favorite professor to check in or let them know of a new project you're working on. Encourage your company to recruit from PNW. Find me on LinkedIn. Keep up with what is happening here on campus and in our alumni community. Your network is strong. Stay engaged in it. You each have your own stories and connections that you have created in your time here. Now, class of 2019, go out there and continue writing your story and paving the way for future Purdue Northwest students. I am so proud to call you fellow alumni. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Cooley, Student Government President, will now represent the graduates on behalf of all Purdue Northwest students.
It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out where the strong man stumbles or where the doer of good deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who does great enthusiasms, who knows great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Good afternoon, everyone. To all friends, family, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and now graduates of Purdue University Northwest. My name is James Cooley, and I've held the honor of serving as your elected student president over the course of the past year. The quote I opened with was Theodore Roosevelt 110 years ago today in Paris. This quote has always stuck with me ever since my mom guilt-tripped me into reading that book she got me at Mount Rushmore a few years back. I used it not just because I'm a history and poli-sci major, but because I see it embodied by every single one of you sitting before me here today. We've all used a variety of words to describe our own personal arenas. Frustrating, tedious, 7 primary sources due at midnight single-spaced, size 10 font Times New Roman. We've all been there. It has been an exhausting fight. As a college students, we're no strangers to stumbles or errors. I know I'm not, and being as young as I am, there are plenty more ahead of me. We all do. But that's not why we're here to celebrate, is it? No. For today, all of your struggles and arenas have faded into the past. Today, you did stumble, and some deeds may have been done better, but you leave here today knowing that triumph of high achievement. Congratulations, Purdue Northwest graduates.
Thank you, James. Well, as we wind down our celebration today, I would like to ask the graduates to think as you move forward about opportunities that you have in front of you, but mostly as you're doing this, think about your willingness to deal with change and create change. Over the last 50 years, we've had a tremendous amount of change in the country, in the world, in technology. 50 years ago, a computer that would fill 1/4 the size of this room now sits in my pocket. It's up to you to not only be able to adapt to change, but to lead change. Universities are judged on many things. Obviously, the quality of our faculty, the quality of our academic programs. But the other significant way we are measured in the eyes of the world is through the success of our graduates. And we do want you to dream the impossible dream and to reach that dream and represent us well as a university. Also think about giving back, not just to the university, but giving back to society. One of the greatest things you'll find as you achieve personally is that you have an opportunity to make a difference in your surroundings. That difference can be ways that you have not thought about before today. They may be ways to help develop people who need encouragement or who are underprivileged. It may be ways to stimulate and create economic development. It may be ways to bring new industries and technologies to Northwest Indiana. I would encourage all of you to be leaders, to give back, and to make sure you leave this world a better place than when you came into it. Congratulations once again to the graduates of Purdue University Northwest Fall Class of 2019, as well as your families. There will be an informal reception for graduates and guests immediately following the ceremony in the Great Hall in this facility. I hope you will attend. I ask you to remain seated for the recessional of the platform party and the faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, the 7th commencement exercise of Purdue University Northwest is now concluded.